Today we are going to start with our sixth chapter in history, that is the economic impact of company rule. So why do we need to study the economic impact of company rule? Because of this economic policies of the company rule, the Indian economy changed, and also slowly and gradually the social structure of India changed. So it is important to study this economic impact. So the first question that arises is that why they started a new economic policy in India. So why the East India Company started a new economic policy? What was their benefit? And why did they ruin India for developing England? So these are the questions for which we need answers, and all these answers we would get in this chapter. Okay. So we know that during Renaissance, that is the period that was in Europe, that is the rebirth of their learning and their culture was going on, and also there was religious reforms during that period. The democracy developed and the monarchy steadily weakened. So we know that the England was the first one to develop the democracy. So during those time, the democracy developed in England and monarchy weakened. So what happened was, because of this development of democracy, industrial development began, and there was a complete change in the field of production. So machine had taken the place of humans, and because of that there were demand of raw material. So what happened was, the industrial development started in England, and so the machine took place of the humans, and as we know, machine can produce more than a man, so the demand for the raw material increased. Now England started thinking from where we would get the raw materials. So strategically they chose a politically weakened country like India to conquer and as a place to get raw materials. So what they did was, they politically chose India. Why? Because it was politically weakened. It was politically weak during those time, and so for getting raw material they conquered India, as during those times they would get raw material at cheaper rate in India. Okay. Now they thought of India as getting getting the raw material, but the next question they arise is, where they will sell the produced goods. They have machines, they have raw materials, and they have production at their place, but who will buy those products? So Britain needed a market to sell finished goods. So they needed a market to sell their finished goods. So because of that, Britishers implemented the economic policy to exploit India and to make England more prosperous. So this was the reason for which they implemented their economic policy, and they started exploiting India. So we know that India was just a market to provide raw materials, and then they would use to sell their finished goods in the Indian market. Okay. So for the past first 100 years of the company rule, that is from 1757 to 1857, they had ruined well developed craft industries and prosperous trade of India. Okay. And thus slowly and gradually India became a poor, miserable and a broken country. Okay. And so we know that the policies of injustice were there, and that made England prosperous at the cost of India. Okay. So colonialism and imperialism had started from Bengal, and from where the British established their first colony. So the colonialism and the imperialism started from the Bengal, and it was that it was the first colony in Bengal that Britishers established in India. Okay. So because they established their colony over there, we would see the first effect as collapse in traditional economy. So the traditional economy of India, or the Bengal, was collapsed. It failed. Okay. So we know that the mainstay of prosperity of the province of Bengal was craft-based industry and agriculture product and a prosperous business. So what were the main prosperity centers for the Bengal? It's craft-based industries, agricultural products, and the prosperous business they had. Okay. So Francois Bernier in 1700 AD, he visited Bengal twice, and during those time he noted something, and he mentioned that there are 100 doors for wealth to enter the Bengal, but not to go out of it. So what he noted was that there were 100 doors for the wealth to enter the Bengal. So Bengal was so prosperous that there were 100 doors from which they would get the wealth. but not a single door from which the wealth would get out of the Bengal. So Bengal was that prosperous, and Bengal was the most developed and the most resourceful province of the Mughal Empire. Okay. So during his stay, he found that the market price of the commodities in Bengal were incredibly cheap. So the product that they used to get in Bengal at that time was very cheap. Okay, means बहुत सस्ता था उस टाइम पे सारी. So during 1708 to 1756, there was a great demand for cotton, cloth, silk cloth, sugar, jute of Bengal throughout the world. So what products were demanded during those time? The cotton cloth, silk, sugar, jute of the Bengal. Okay, and especially the cotton and silk of Dhaka were world famous. So European companies used to export their goods through the road and sea route to Basra, Mocha and Jeddah. Okay. Then what happened was, because of this demand, because of the cheaper prices of the raw material, the East India Company came to India to trade in 1600 AD. Okay, so we know that East India Company came to India in 1600 AD. And also this company was supported by the British government. So East India Company came for trading, but sooner they realized they need to have the controlling power or the ruling power. So they gained the control over Bengal after the Battle of Plassey of 1757 and the Battle of Buxar of 1764. Okay. So the Clive started to have the civil power of collecting land revenue and developed the dual administrative system or the dual government method. So the ruling power was with the Britishers and the administrative power was given to the Nawabs of Bengal. Okay. So this was the dual administrative system. But what happened was, because of this dual system, there were chaos and disturbances, and it had negative impact on the businesses, trade and industries. So this dual system created adverse effect on business, trade and industries. Okay. And also the Britishers didn't thought about India, but they only thought about the betterment of the England. So Britishers in India used their power and ruined craft based businesses and trade. So what they did was, they ruined the craft based business and the trade in India because the betterment of the England. Okay. They never thought about the natives and forcefully implemented their economic policy on Indians. So they forcefully implemented the economic policies on the Indians, and this economic policy would in turn benefit only the Englands and not the Indians. Okay. So the economic advisor of that time of Madras state, John Sullivan, said that this policy works like a sponge which took good things from India and sent it to England. So what did he compare this economic policy of the Britishers with? He compared the economic policy with a sponge, in which they would absorb all the things, good things from the India, and they would send it to the England. Okay. So we know that if we put a sponge in a water, he would absorb the water. So in that way, because of their economic policy, they used to absorb the wealth, the good things of India, and they used to send to the England. Okay.